Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast that is called Intellectual Smackdown. Today's episode is Shrek 1 versus Shrek 2. But before we get into that, I want to say who won last podcast. All right,
what was the last podcast?
Boxer briefs and underwear?
Boxer briefs and tidy
Oh,
whities.
the Strawpoll. That Strawpoll.
Yeah,
Strawpoll.
I had a straw poll. All right, drumroll please. I won. I did it. I won, guys. Connor won.
Could you check
100%.
Could you check the
It's kind of
Strawpoll
a
for me?
subjective. No, I already checked. He's got 100% of the votes.
100% of the votes.
How many people
won.
voted?
But let's.
How many people voted?
I think less than 10.
Damn it!
But I won anyway. So
All right.
Yeah,
got
I would
you.
call it a subjective win, though. I mean, did he really win?
Yeah, of course I won. And now that I won, I can say tidy whities suck. I'm wearing boxer briefs right now, people.
Ooh, what a complete 180.
Yeah,
Fooled him.
It really did.
I got them.
You really baited him so hard.
All
It
right.
doesn't change the fact that you still own Tidy Whities, though.
So do you.
I do
So
too.
does Gabe.
I don't own Tidy Whities.
You own boxers.
Boxer briefs.
Boxers.
Just briefs.
Anyways.
Boxer briefs, in particular. Because regular briefs are the real term for Tidy Whities we learned last week.
Wow, thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
You did your research. All right.
You did your research, and I just copied.
You did your research as in you listened to the last podcast and you listened to me. That's research apparently. Anyway, it's the Daytona Flip. Who wants what?
Well, who's fighting for?
Oh God, I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, how can I forget?
Pizza pie.
Mamma mia, boys.
Mamma mia.
Dylan is fighting for what?
Shrek 1.
Gabe, what are you fighting for? I'm sorry for hitting you.
Shrek 2.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Oh my god.
All right, let's
Mamma
flip
mia.
it. What do you want? What side do you want, Gabe?
Non-Daytona.
Daytona side.
Oh wow.
You got mad at me.
Oh,
for
no!
hitting the Oh, Dylan has yogurt cups and you better lick that off.
I'll be right. No, I'm not licking it off.
So
All right, we need to take a little cut right here.
So Dylan has
Whoa.
lids or whatever for like the top of his like yogurt cups, and Connor flipped it, and the Daytona side fell right on the yogurt.
The
cup.
non-Daytona side,
The
fell on the
non-Daytona
yogurt,
side,
meaning
yeah.
that the
What a
Daytona side was
disaster.
flipped.
Actually, did you know yogurt is a really good cleaning substance for CDs?
I thought it was.
You're a
toothpaste.
really good cleaning substance for CDs.
Isn't
Thank
like
you.
toothpaste and like bananas are good too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bananas?
But so is
Yeah, bananas.
yogurt.
We should use bananas.
We should use bananas for cleaning discs. It like prevents like something from scratching or something. I can't
Yogurt
remember.
actually gives it a higher bacterial count.
Yogurt.
So it cleans up the.
Yay.
It's the healthy bacteria that cleans the CDs.
Okay, but if my CD's snapped in half, can I still clean it with yogurt?
Yeah.
You'd use Flex Seal for that.
Oh man, what was I thinking?
I snapped this disc in half.
All right. I forgot the sides. We're flipping
Well,
it
you already
anyway.
flipped. It was Daytona side, and that's not even.
No,
landed.
but that wasn't a real flip. I just tossed it. You know.
I'm gonna call that non-Daytona side.
All right.
It's leaning up against something.
Who is
it's not-
non-Daytona
It's
again?
inconclusive.
I was.
What a disaster. Anyway.
So I don't really have an actual like written out argument, but I do have a bunch of bullet points that I use in the argument. However, I will say this: in life, everyone, every director, every actor wants the perfect sequel. They want the hype of the first movie to be surpassed, or let's say, Cars 1. Everyone was super hyped for Cars 2, and it was bad.
It was really bad.
It
And
was
then
so bad.
Cars 2. And they heard they were making Cars 3. Everyone had expectations for Cars 3 to completely nullify whatever happened in Cars 2. Basically, Cars 2 isn't canon in the Cars lore. It's just Cars 1, 3, and planes.
Planked is canon?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Sequels. People always want them to live up and surpass to the first movie. Sometimes they do. Oftentimes, it could be said that they don't really. But Shrek 2 took everything that made Shrek perfect and made it perfect-er. That's right. We're dropping words that aren't even real.
Wow.
Shrek 2 is the perfect sequel in all sequels. Some might say, they could build a case for some of the Star Wars movies. Some might build on the case of the Blade movies. But for me, for my money, could you two stop fighting?
Dylan is touching me!
Okay.
I'm sorry.
He's in the middle, okay? And I'm...
Why are you always in the middle?
That's a
Good joke.
What's the
A
joke?
throwback?
Inside
That's a
joke.
inside
That's
joke.
a...
That's an inside joke that no one will understand except for us. Continue.
Yeah. So Shrek 2 took the characters, the plot pacing, and the music, turned it up to 11, and what you have is the perfect sequel in Shrek 2. Everyone saw Shrek 2 and knew how good it was. And so when Shrek 3 was announced,
Stop biting me.
everyone had extremely high expectations. And as you know, Shrek 3 is mediocre, and Shrek 4 doesn't even exist. Because Shrek 2 is the best sequel of all time, no other sequels can live up to it. And I'm fighting for the fact that there is no better sequel than Shrek 2. Because it did what a sequel should do. Make the original obsolete.
Oh, shoot.
And I did the Undertaker thing with the thumb across.
Alright, Gabe, I completely agree with you, and I think you're gonna win. Purely on the fact that Dylan keeps touching me.
I can't
Stop
help
touching
it.
me!
You're just right there.
Go. Say your argument.
Give me a second to prepare. I've been distracted by your ears this whole time.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, Shrek 1 is a beautiful movie for many reasons, Gabe. Reason most important being that it was a big shot at Disney.
You're right, it was.
And Shrek was the pioneer of that whole idea of shooting down a big company like Disney. Without Shrek, we wouldn't have pretty much all of DreamWorks. My point here is Shrek established the universe that Shrek 2 was built in. And it did it in such a way...
The Shrek cinematic universe.
It did it in such a way that it allowed for a sequel in the first place. Shrek was not a perfect movie, necessarily, but it was damn close. And I dare say Shrek 1 has some pretty solid memes buried in there.
Oh, for sure, my guy.
And it's just a damn good movie. It is a better antagonist than Shrek 2. And it has a more satisfying ending than Shrek 2.
Okay. All right.
And that's where I'll start.
Okay.
It's just a better movie, Gabe.
Well.
Gabe, what's your counter? You just spit in my mouth.
Granite or marble?
I prefer mahogany. Shrek 1 had a spectacular cast, right? You had Eddie Murphy as Donkey. You had Cameron Diaz as Fiona, and you had the god himself, Mike Myers, as Shrek. You have a phenomenal cast in of itself. But you add Julie Andrews as the queen, you add John Cleese as the king, Antonio Banderas as Puss in Boots, Rupert Everett as Prince Charming, Jennifer Saunders, as the fairy godmother, and Larry King as Doris, the ugly stepsister. You have an outstanding cast, because at the time, those are all big marquee names, save for, I think Rupert Everett was still getting into the swing of things.
Larry King. No one likes Larry King.
John Cleese is a pretty hard hitter, though.
John Cleese is a strong boy in the acting world. And so, where Shrek 1 had a great cast, Shrek 1 had a great cast. Shrek 2 added on that great cast, which essentially nullified the perfection of the original cast and gave supporting characters that made the world, the Shrek cinematic universe, feel alive. I mean, Iron Man's cool, right? But without Captain America, without Hulk, Black Widow, Sans, Hawkeye, all of the other Avengers, it's good, but it's not phenomenal. It's the season for spooks, boys.
Understandable. I would argue that while you were right about the strong supporting cast, that's not super relevant. I mean, you can have as many supporting characters as you want, but when you get down to it, are we talking about the base film here, or are we talking about all the characters in the film? Because the base film is more important, in my opinion, and in most people's opinion, including most movie critics. Now, okay. Shrek 1 had a more coherent plot line than Shrek 2 did. You had the story of Shrek. You have him introduced, you have him coming across his problem of people invading his swamp, and then him going and challenging the big bad guy, Lord Farquaad. Lord Fuckwad.
Lord Fuckwad.
Oh, I get it.
And then he goes on this incredible journey and falls in love. But Shrek 2 is more nuanced in a way and less accessible.
I would like to give a good counter that not only is Shrek 2 a good sequel, but it's also a good standalone movie. At the beginning of Shrek 2, they recap the events of Shrek 1 in the form of Prince Charming reading the story. Connor.
I'm so cool. Anyway.
Don't touch that.
I already have my lips on it.
I'm sorry. We're not talking about my wiener here.
No, we're talking about a recorder.
Yeah.
Far more.
It's here.
Far more impressive.
That's just establishing that it's in my mouth. Continue.
It's like a comedy sports whistle, except it's a recorder. Where Shrek 1 succeeded in having a straightforward plot, Shrek 2 succeeded in having multiple layers. So you have Fiona with her struggling with her identity and how she changed a lot for Shrek, and how Shrek doesn't really want to change everything that happened. In the beginning, accidentally in love, which is a jam, by the way.
That's a jam.
I have an entire point based around the music in Shrek 2. Accidentally in Love, it shows like this grainy old film like recap and stuff of everything that happened. And Shrek 2 answers the questions that Shrek 1 left a lot to be desired. Like when Shrek had Fiona. Like, who were Fiona's parents? What was she the princess of? How did she get in the castle? Shrek 2 also, when they introduced Prince Charming, right? And he was running across the desert and through the coldest, mountains and whatever. The coldest mountains. And he goes up and finds the big bad wolf in the bed. And then it starts running with Accidentally in Love. You have a recap that makes Shrek 2 almost act as a standalone film. Because all you need to know is that in the first movie, ogre big, save pretty redhead lady, ogre.
Still pretty.
Pretty thick, am I right?
Up top.
That was the wettest high five ever. Just...
it's hot in here.
It was just...
I'm wearing a jacket and my hands are still less moist.
Just like...
I was thinking of Princess Fiona as an ogre. My bad.
His palms are sweaty.
Knees weak.
Dong spaghetti.
Dong spaghetti. Sorry, Dong.
Here's the thing, Gabe. All the benefits that you just listed off are things only a sequel can do. While a sequel can't necessarily establish the universe as well as the original movie can, I would argue that without the original movie, Shrek 2 wouldn't be a very good standalone movie. Because you have to establish Shrek as a character before you can start expanding on that character, which is what the original movie did. And that goes for every character in the movie. And here's the thing, totally changing gears. Shrek 2 basically had no dragon in it. Okay. In Shrek 1, we got to see the love story of Donkey and Dragon falling in love and becoming babes. And in the Shrek 2, you didn't even see Dragon until the very, very tippy end of the movie.
When she had babies.
Yeah, and it was like a post-credits thing. It wasn't even a thing. So we're missing an entire important game winner in Shrek 2.
You're right.
One of the most interesting and valuable characters in Shrek 1.
Okay.
Huh.
Right.
Donkey seducing her is one of my favorite parts of that movie.
It's phenomenal.
It's a great
You a lady dragon.
I love it.
That's great. Wow, dude. I'm so mad that Wushu got robbed of not having his own song in Mulan.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Eddie Murphy with a song. That'd be amazing.
Eddie Murphy's got a good
singing
voice.
The Mulan remake's not going to be a musical.
Not going to be a musical. You're fucking up, Disney. What are you doing, gamers?
This is why DreamWorks needs to make Mulan. Rise up, gamers. Let's make it happen. Gabe, go. I don't want to talk anymore. I'm only going to communicate through the recorder now.
That'd just be horrible. Let's go to... I got so much here.
He has a lot of paper. Oh, I mean,
yes, very perceptive, Connor. I'm going to go ahead and now move to details. And I'm not talking, we just talked about stories, so a lot of story details were mentioned. But now, Jacob.
Stop knocking things over.
We all heard that, Jacob.
Even the people listening to the podcast heard it.
If you want to execute Jacob in public, press 1 in the comments. Yeah, so obviously Shrek has the benefit.
Hold on, Jacob's going to be the only one pressing 1 in the comments.
He just has 1 on standby. Did you just...
I'm sorry. Gabe, I'm sorry for distract. I mean...
Okay, cool. We're going to go details here.
I'm done.
The reason why I think Shrek 2 is not only the better movie story-wise and just plot pacing-wise, but also visually. Yes, Shrek 2 was made later. Yes, Shrek 2 was made when DreamWorks was really expanding and having a bigger studio and a bigger team. Examples being every little knot in the wood used in the signs and buildings, the wear on the cobblestone, the rust and dull on the metallic parts of the carriage, the glaze on the food during the dinner scene. It'd take too long to list every little detail, but Shrek 1 was a beautiful movie. Looked super pretty. The scene where they're in the field is very nice.
The scene where they're fighting the dragon?
Scene where they're fighting the dragon? Yeah, the castle itself was absolutely stunning.
The
fire looks so good. You can see like little tongues and stuff out of the flame. Like, not really tongues, but the flame flickering.
Yeah, you're right. Shrek 2 didn't have better visuals.
I'm getting there, you son of a bitch.
Jeez, dude.
When you look at a screenshot of any scene in Shrek, there is so much to be seen. When you look at Doris, that ugly son of a bitch, you can see the complexion on their face. You can see the twining in their robe. I really can't remember if Doris is supposed to be a man or woman.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter,
Ugly
Gabe.
stepsister?
Oh,
okay, a woman. Okay, right.
Okay, you're right. Never...
Doris, and she's wearing everything and like this and that. You go to Far, Far Away, as I mentioned, the cobblestone. You can see individual wear on each little block of cobblestone, even if it's just like the artist took out a pixel of color, or didn't render it fully and it looks like trash. Even then, there's still personality in this movie with all the details. You have the flower scene, each individual petal in the cloud. You have the mud scene, even though the mud looks kind of iffy by today's standards.
Oh yeah.
You have the gingerbread house, where you can see every individual wave within the frosting if you look close enough. Shrek 2 has the benefit of being more visually appealing, whereas Shrek 1 was maybe more environmentally appealing. Actually, no, I'm going to go back on that, because Shrek 2 introduced a lot of locations and stuff. I've been talking too long, Dylan. Go.
Gabe, I'm completely lost.
Shrek 2 looks pretty.
Shrek 1 also looks pretty.
Okay, Shrek 2
Oh, shoot.
Shrek 2 is...
for the time when Shrek came out, honestly, at the time, it's probably the most visually stunning. That was around the same
time, Shark Tale came out.
Shark Tale came
Shark
out.
Tale looks so... the animation is so bad in Shark Tale.
Shark Tale's a funny
Shrek
movie.
1 absolutely stomped that movie into the ground.
Really did.
Shrek 1 had probably the best visuals in any animated movie at that time.
When did Shrek 1 come
I
out?
think Shark Tale came out after Shrek.
Yeah. Shark Tale came out same year as Shrek 2. I did my trivia.
Okay, but even so, Shrek 1, the older movie, looks better than most movies that came out at the time of its sequel.
It looks so good.
You're right.
Just because the studio was ahead of its time, both movies, doesn't mean that one movie is
DreamWorks do Shark Tales?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that depressing?
Well, maybe because they weren't locked in a dungeon like the Shrek 1 guys were.
Yeah.
DreamWorks, what a good company.
They just went for a bad visual style, honestly.
They really did.
They make it gritty and.
But hey, they got Jack Black and Will Smith.
You want to see Will Fish?
Okay, Gabe.
You proud of that joke, Connor?
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
good joke.
It was not.
Get it? We'll fish.
I get it.
All right, continue, Gabe.
Suicide Squad.
Yes, continue.
So, I want to talk about the fight scenes in these movies.
Ooh, dude, nice. Okay, good. I really love fight scenes.
Oh,
Shrek
okay.
1 absolutely has better fight scenes than Shrek 2. You talk to me right now,
Okay.
and tell me that the arena combat scene with all the knights is not better than every single option.
You
that's
know
in
that
Shrek
I'm the
2.
biggest fan of wrestling here. You know that when Shrek hit that suplex. You know that when Shrek hit the Hurricane Rana. You know that when Donkey hit his head into the chair. You know that when Shrek hit that nasty ass clothesline, I wasn't popping off hard. As a wrestling fan, those little niches and nods were so good in
Gabe,
this.
I'm not even a wrestling fan, and I still think it's one of the best fight scenes in movie history.
A good man can appreciate a good suplex. It's just it's great, and I love that scene because of all the wrestling things it has in it. But when I took a step back from my wrestling mindset, it's formulaic. The action is your generic, not generic. I don't want to say because nothing in that scene was generic, but it was essentially a glorified fist fight. You had your wrestling in it, which wrestling is just a glorified fist fight. Oh, that one hurt to say. Me.
Okay, so what you're telling me right now is you think because Puss in Boots was introduced that the fighting was more complex and interesting?
No, I'm going to talk about the factory scene. The factory escape scene is one of the finest animated and most memorable moments in the franchise, only enhanced by Pete Yom's Ever Fallen in Love and the creative combat measures used by the main cast the Shrek movies are known for. You know, so obviously you have a banger playing, right? Puss in Boots pulls out the potion and all the potions fall and the alarm goes off. You know it's about to get litty, bro. You know, they pull out, like, Puss in Boots gets his hat from under the door in one motion. Then you've got the gang come in.
Okay, you want to talk about slaps though? Bad Reputation by Halfcock during that wrestling scene
I don't
is
like
one
Bad
of.
Reputation.
You don't like that song?
I don't like the song. Maybe because I've heard it a lot. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a pretty good song.
It is a good song.
Super suits the scene.
I feel like, what's the song called?
Ever Fallen in Love by Pete Yom.
I don't know if it really fit that scene.
Okay, that's fair.
I think it suited the movie, but not the fights.
All right.
Yeah.
It wasn't hype enough for a fight scene, Gabe.
Okay. Can I please get
Sorry,
to my
Gabe.
point? God.
But I want to concede to you real quick how fucking fast those
The-
crossbowmen drop into prone.
Okay,
Oh my
that
God.
gang is the single best firing squad I've ever seen in my entire life. No,
And you've seen a lot of firing squads.
I haven't. But I've seen a lot of movies where, you know, there's a lot of military movies.
Yeah,
so I've
yeah.
seen a lot of people shooting. But when you've got the squad, right, with these rapid fire crossbows that are belt fed from the bottom, and like it's the widescreen shot, boom, they pop through the door. That's like the Power Rangers, but like
Shrek.
everyone's the
Just the
green
Rangers.
everyone's the Green Ranger in Shrek.
Just the Rangers.
They're just the Rangers. So they bust through the door,
Precursors.
and you know, and then Puss, Donkey, and Shrek are like, oh no. They jump up that it's like a water wheel. Is that what it's called? So they run up the
Yeah.
water wheel, and you know, and like you got the gang blasting at them, and you know they run on the barrels, and then they impact the spigot.
Spaghetti.
They impact the spaghetti off the barrel. And
You spit on me!
No, he's spaghetti.
Oh, sorry.
I spat get on you. Impacted the barrel, and like they all turn into doves, and it's a funny meme. And they escape. Maybe the song wasn't fitting for the scene, but could you think of any other song that would work in that scene?
Holding out for a hero.
That song.
Gabe,
I need to get to that.
Sorry.
I would argue that scene is not a fight scene, but an escape scene, which is a wildly different type of scene in general.
Okay.
They are actively using their environment to get out rather than thrashing their opponents like Shrek does to all the knights in Shrek 1.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's necessarily a comparison that can be made because it's an escape. They're escaping. Their goal is to escape rather than just kick the shit out of a bunch of dudes hardcore wrestling style.
Would you count the ending between of
The castle siege?
Yeah, the castle siege. Would you count that as a fight scene?
It's a castle siege.
I would
scene.
count the fight with the fairy godmother, but up until this, like the rest of it is the siege. It's totally different.
Puss in
Right?
Boots is
It's-
fine.
Puss in Boots does a little bit of fighting, but it's like a 15, 20 seconds of it.
Can I gush for a moment?
Yeah.
Please.
Now,
If it's about holding over here, then...
Man, what a perfect song for the Casual Siege scene. I'm sorry, Dylan, but like everything is perfectly timed. It's probably like the best cover of that song.
Everyone knows that song
made.
because of Shrek 2, I want to say.
It's such a good song. And like it fit like the mood, you know, like the pressure was up. Are Prince Charming and Fiona gonna kiss?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm.
You gotta hold out for the hero, which is Shrek.
Okay, I want to establish here real quick, because we didn't in the beginning. Both of me and Gabe and Connor have a deep set love for both movies.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's for the sake of the podcast.
Yeah.
But I just want to say right now, holy shit, Shrek 2's details. You can tell in the scene with the tea that he put it in the wrong color.
Yeah. The coloration is so different.
Even just beyond just the coloration, you can track. No, he put it in the left one, and then he drinks the left one. You can pick that out before it even happens.
Can we also talk about like the subtle hints that
He's a
Fiona's dad is a frog?
Yeah, like they were by the lily pads. He mentioned that they had their first kiss by the lily pads.
Yeah.
The bed frame that the queen is sitting on is a frog face.
Did you watch the same Shrek 2 video as me?
I did, yeah.
I watched it too.
We all
anyway,
watched it.
Shrek 2 sucks. Dylan, defend Shrek 1.
Lord Farquaad is just a better villain than the Fairy Godmother. Fairy Godmother she's a superior villain than most villains in cinematic history. But man, Lord Farquaad just nails it in the sense that he does exactly what he was supposed to do in that movie. He was supposed to be like a Disney representative.
Yeah,
a scummy a scummy dude who represents like not a bad company. Sorry, Disney. I know Disney's listening to the podcast this week, and I just want to say we have respect for your current status, except for Disney Channel, please, God.
And Star Wars.
Please. And Star Wars. Like, get your shit together, Disney. I take everything back. You fucking suck.
I expect the Mandalorian series to be good.
But my point is, Lord Farquaad is psychopathic, but also he knows that he needs to find true love. And he has a super inferiority complex due to his height, which is just amazing.
He's
a very complex villain while also being accessible.
Yeah, Shrek 1...
I think that the most complex...
Oh, okay.
Sorry, talk.
Shrek 1 was like a complete like backhand middle finger to Disney. And it was great. I feel like Shrek 2 was the beginning of the Shrek franchise when it became Disney.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Shrek became marketable. So instead of giving Disney the backhand, they sort of became Disney and came out with Shark Tale. You know?
They did come out with Shark Tale.
It sort of began with Shrek 2.
I guess. I would like to say that because that Shrek didn't have anything to live up to in Shrek 1, it was like you said, just a backhand to Disney. Lord Farquaad was your standard caricature of a Napoleon complex. He's small, he's an angry boy, he rules the land. He has Thelonious, who, by the way,
Thelonious is so...
Thelonious is the best villain, let's be honest.
Was that the guy who was like 4 or 3?
Pick 3, my lord.
Pick 3, my lord, pick 3!
There we go.
Thelonious, and he like punches the mirror out. And it's great. Thelonious is a wonderful character. He's a wonderful little Chad, and I love him. But I think that Farquaad is a good villain, but because he's like meant to be a villain. Like they wrote him as a villain, like angry boy. He's small. He wants a girlfriend. He wants to rule the kingdom. And that's fine, because Shrek didn't really have, like, much... Like, Shrek was literally just like, yeah, we're going to shoot in the dark and hope it hits, you know? Mm-hmm. With the Fairy Godmother, though, you had multiple inklings and layers with her. You know, at first, you know, she seemed like, okay, you know, she's introduced to Fiona, just a teardrop away, and it's like, okay, she seems fine, you know? And, you know, when Fiona denies her and Shrek comes in, you can see that, you know, the Fairy Godmother's pretty apprehensive about Shrek and his existence. And as the movie progresses, you find out she's Prince Charming's mom. She was the one who put gave Harold the king his happily ever after. She is trying to manipulate Fiona into thinking that she's trying to manipulate Shrek into thinking that Fiona has moved on, while making sure that Prince Charming does his job at securing Fiona. So in the long run, she can have a position of power when Prince Charming marries Fiona, like what happened a lot in England and France back when.
But that's a sequel villain. That type of villain wouldn't work in an original self-contained movie like the original Shrek.
I'm gonna go ahead and backpedal and say that it would, because you remember the first Kung Fu Panda? What's his name?
With the big boy.
Yeah.
Jack Black and the big tiger guy.
He was a leopard. What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't
that
remember,
guy.
but
I can't remember. But
hold on. No, we
need this. I can't believe I can't remember. But
Potty break. I'm gonna go potty. Be right back.
okay,
That means me and Gabe can just chat about random stuff while Connor is gone.
let's just gush about Shrek for a while.
Yo, okay, Shrek 2, the fucking night scene.
I'm gonna talk about that. I love it so much.
It's so good.
I analyzed all of the jokes it has in it.
The pepper spray, but it's just a pepper grinder.
The pepper spray, but also, I have the thing here where it says the night scene, when they're overhead and they say, we have a white Bronco heading east into the forest. That's referencing O.J. Simpson when he was escaping in the Ford Bronco and heading east along, the highway.
Oh my god.
I know, and I was like, holy shit. Let's see. O.J. Ford Bronco chase. And, even the way that it was kind of, grittily, overhand, filmed, it was based around the Ford Bronco thing where O.J. was leaving. Let's see, what else? In Shrek 1, the Robin Hood guys.
Oh my god, I was going to talk about them.
So funny.
That scene is so good.
It's so funny. I love it.
They make Robin Hood just a low-key sexual predator.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then Fiona Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku's them.
You just spoke Japanese.
It's Ryu's side B.
I don't speak Japanese.
I don't speak chapped Chinese. Let's see. Man, you know what sucks? Honestly, I think is the tragedy of Shrek 3 is that after Shrek 2 came out, you had Shrek 1, which was the foothold, and you had Shrek 2, which was the huge leap up the mountain and really established DreamWorks. Is that
John Cleese's character died?
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong,
the king.
Julie Andrews did fine, but she was only in the movie for the first and very last half. You had Justin Timberlake play Arthur, but
Artie.
But even then, the tragedy of Shrek 3 is that you had established characters, but they just kept wanting to add more, and they added a new character who doesn't really have that much depth.
It's because it worked so well with Shrek 2.
Exactly.
Hey guys, guess what? I'm done potty.
Okay, we want to get back to the debate.
Yes. Where were we?
His name's Tai Lung.
Tai Lung, thank you.
Oh.
God, what a guy. But Tai Lung was introduced in the first movie as, this, he was not apostle, that's the completely wrong word, a student of Shifu. And Shifu was don't touch the scrolls. And Master Uguay was don't touch the scrolls. And then Tai Lung was I want to touch the scroll.
Don't touch the scrolls.
He was don't touch the scrolls. And then Uguay was he did the finger press thing and he just got paralyzed, which I think is really cool. And then Shifu was I'm sorry, Tai Lung. And then Tai Lung was pissy about it because he was betrayed, but he also wants power. And in a sense, he's like Farquaad in that he has an inferiority complex. He never was as good as he was meant to be because he fucked up. But he didn't see it as fucking up. He felt that Shifu was the one that was holding him back from his stupid... It's the Anakin Obi-Wan thing, but done 10 times better from DreamWorks.
Shout out to the prequels.
Yeah, so...
We talk about the prequels
that is the villain of a movie. He may be complex in some ways, but he's a villain first. Mm-hmm. And the sequel can take a villain in different ways, but you have to establish a real big bad guy first.
Yeah.
So I'm right.
I mean, I don't think you're right. I think that you do have a strong point with the fact that Farquaad is a good villain because he is a good villain, but throughout most of Shrek, he doesn't really have a presence. He has the presence of being the loony.
It's because he died in Shrek 1. He got eaten by the dragon.
He was eaten by baby dragon.
Have you guys seen the Shrek Halloween special?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
3D Shrek thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have it on DVD.
I have it on DVD also.
Man, I have Shrek 2 on DVD. We should just watch Shrek at some point.
We should just watch all three Shrek. All three Shrek movies. All the canon ones.
Oh,
There you
Shrek
go.
1, the interim with Shrek 3D, a little short film,
And then Shrek 2.
and then Shrek 2.
Yeah.
All 3 canon ones.
All 3 canon ones. The other ones are just like filler episodes.
Yeah, don't forget the American Idol.
Oh, far,
After
far away.
credit.
Damn it!
Far,
I had
Far
those one of my
Away Idol.
fucking points. You spoiling bitch.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
Okay,
fine.
I want to get back to the argument real quick.
Yeah.
I want to drop a bomb on you, Gabe.
That's
Ooh,
all right. Go ahead and
shoot.
Japan me.
The first Shrek movie had 2, not 1, but 2 Smash Mouth songs in it.
Okay.
Oh my god, dude.
So we've talked about how much we love Smash Mouth, and that Smash Mouth always puts.
Have
out
we
bangers.
talked about?
Not you, Dylan and I.
Me and Gabe
Oh.
have talked about it in the car rides and whatnot. We've
Oh,
talked
I
about how
got
good
you.
Smash Mouth
Smash
is.
Mouth is consistently putting up bangers.
You've got All Star, which is
All-Star.
one of the greatest. Speaking of which, Shrek 1 has one of the greatest opening sequences of all time.
I think it's a meme song. I think it's one of.
It's a meme
It
song
is a meme
because
song.
it was in Shrek.
I guess so. Yeah.
No one would care about that song unless Shrek became a meme first.
Okay, you think? All right. Here's my theory. I think All Star became a meme, and then because it's in Shrek, Shrek became a meme.
Okay, no, you're wrong.
No, I am wrong. You're right. Continue.
No, Shrek became a meme, and then All Star is synonymous with Shrek at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people are like, "Oh yeah, All Star's meme now." That's how it happened.
This is factually correct.
I don't think. Sorry, but I don't think All Star the meme has died. I mean, maybe like it dwindled down a bit, but you know, I see it here and there on
I think once it hit the normie tangent line, it died.
maybe.
Because I remember being in global science and seeing a bunch of Supreme wearing Chads like being like, "Hey now," or they'd be like, "Bam, dun, dun." They'd just be like humming it, and I'd be like, "Well, there it goes, bye."
Yeah, I guess.
I actually listened to them to hear when a meme died, like the Uganda Knuckles. When they started
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about it, I knew it died. When they talked about Dat Boy, I was like, "Oh, it's dead."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
rough time.
I hit a couple people.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, Dylan, what were you saying?
I was saying that the opening to Shrek perfectly establishes Shrek as a character from the get-go without even having too much dialogue with Shrek. All it was him getting ready in the morning for a hard day's work.
of ogering.
And
Yeah.
you still get all that you need from Shrek to establish
yeah.
him as a character from the get-go.
It's
It
pretty
doesn't
good.
expand on him, but it tells you who Shrek is and what he is. Even how he's reading the book in the very beginning. He says, "What a load of crap," and then he wipes his ass with the story,
Where the page is
and then kicks it off his foot as he's leaving the outhouse.
The outhouse because he's a funny,
Yeah.
he's a funny
No.
ogre guy.
That plus All Star, which perfectly goes along with that scene, establishes Shrek as a character better than anything else.
I think that Accidentally in Love was a better establishment recap because
I mean, it's a recap. That's what it is.
but yeah, but it establishes that, while the downtime of, Fiona and Shrek, getting married in the chapel and having Farpoint eaten, that happened, it goes by and shows them they had a gingerbread house. The gingerbread house got fucked up. They had the flower field. They were actually being chased by angry poachers. Shrek was making out with Fiona. He started making out with Ariel, and then he yeeted her over the thing. And that... What was the last thing that
Fiona
happened?
yeeted her.
Fiona yeeted her, that's right. Into the sharks.
Into
Into
the
the sharks! I forgot there were sharks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, my leg is extended.
No, you're fine. Don't worry.
But it's a recap.
It's a recap, yeah. And I feel like that... My point about the standalone earlier is... Yes, you won't have as much Shrek lore as if you just jumped into the second one. But if you just watch the recap of like the first 15-ish minutes or whatever, you'd get the gist. Ogre lady is lady turned, Prince Charming's a bitch, and his mom is
Okay,
hot.
but with that recap, you don't understand quite how Fiona met up with Shrek and became an ogre. That whole plot point, even with the story, you miss the whole how Shrek became a perma-ogre. How Fiona became perma-ogre.
Perma ogre.
I love that.
What a term.
Super Saiyan ogre.
Even with that recap, it doesn't explain, even with the storybook in the very beginning, it doesn't explain how Fiona became perma-ogre.
All right, there are good points from both of you, but I'm going to start to do rapid fire points. All right, I'm going to begin with.
You should say names instead of point. Because
I
no
will.
One can see pointing.
Don't
I
worry.
realized that
I'm
midway.
pointing and I'm going to say names. Gabe, go.
DVD extras like Far, Far Away Idol, animation, mishaps, and director commentary all spectacular.
Dylan.
I mean, he's got a pretty good point about the DVD extras.
Dylan, you got to do better than that.
But that's not the point of the movie. The DVD extras do not add to the value of the movie, Connor. They add to the value of owning the DVD.
Gabe.
The climax with the cast going up against the fairy godmothers is very well paced for a children's animated action sequence, and it's followed by an absolute banger of Livin' La Vida Loca.
Dylan, sorry.
Oh no, you said Gabe. He has to go again. Yeah, but the scene where Shrek and Fiona kiss and the climax of that whole scene where Farquaad gets eaten by the dragon is just as good, minus the banger, but with more character development.
There was a banger at the end of Shrek 1.
There was a pretty good banger, but I wouldn't say it's as good as Livin' La Vida Loca.
Okay.
It was I'm a Believer.
Yeah.
And Eddie Murphy sang it. You know what? I take it back. That was a pretty big slap. Yeah. No, it had an equally good banger. Except,
is there a moth?
Why are you still pointing at me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought. When will you stop? I'm waiting for you, man.
Why are you waiting for me? You were
Gabe.
Tom waits with a little drop of poison. Jennifer Saunders' performance of holding out for her hero. Needs Some Sleep by the Eels. Funky Tom by Lips Incorporated. And Accidentally in Love by Counting Crows are all bangers.
Shrek 1 has 2 songs by Smash Mouth, Gabe, you imbecile. They can have as many of those as they want, but they'll never have Smash Mouth.
Gabe, sorry. Jesus Christ.
Shrek 2 is extremely quotable. Enough, Reggie. Don't you dare point those dirty green sausages at me. More heat, less foam. Could you not be yourself for 5 minutes? For 5 minutes!
Dylan, I'm tired of this.
Shrek 1 is equally quotable. Ogres have layers. I like that boulder. That's a nice boulder. Like, I could go on, but I'm not going to, Connor, because I know you're tired of it.
Thank you. Gabe.
The knights scene is very good because creative jokes are used, like when the knights use the pepper grinder as pepper spray, or in the overhead helicopter view with Shrek riding away on Donkey saying, "We have a white Bronco heading east in the forest," making references to the O.J. Simpson's Ford Bronco chase.
Welcome to Duloc. It's the perfect town. I can't remember the rest, but that scene is just as good as the knights scene, and it establishes that they're shitting on Disney from the get-go. Also, guy with the giant Farquaad head, who's basically a mascot running through the line. Yeah, and then they had the turnstiles. Mm-hmm. Shrek 1 had a bunch of really good jokes, but it was making fun of different things.
Gabe.
The scene where they break Shrek, Donkey, and Puss in Boots out from the jail cell, and they kept making Pinocchio tell lies. And also that you can see Puss in Boots...
You're not wearing ladies' underwear.
I certainly am not. It's a thong! But you can totally see another good detail is that Puss in Boots is eyeballing one of the blind mice the entire time they're helping him escape. When he drops down, he looks over, and then that's when he spits him out. It's a nice little detail because Puss in Boots is a cat, and also the blind mice are a mouse, and cat eat mouse, and like Tom and Jerry. Like Sans and Undertale.
That was a good podcast. Do you have final points?
The scene with Robin Hood is...
Oh my God.
We talked about that, yeah.
That's such a good scene.
Is also pretty detailed.
It is. Yeah.
And it has a lot of good memes. And it follows up with a beautiful, heartwarming scene of Fiona taking care of Shrek and telling Donkey to get the fuck out.
That's true. She did do that.
Yeah, poor Donkey.
Donkey.
Gabe, final point.
Final point. Shrek is a great movie.
Blue petals, red thorns. Blue petals, red thorns. Blue petals, red thorns. I'm colorblind.
There's 3 good Shrek movies. One of them isn't technically a movie. It's a 3D feature. If you want to watch Shrek 1 and 2. And the 3D feature. Don't watch... Like, you can watch Shrek 3 if you just want to see something like mediocre, but don't watch Shrek 4. Don't watch
Shrek 4.
Don't watch Shrek 4.
Yeah. This is a semantic argument. Like, Shrek 1 and 2 are both phenomenal movies.
Yeah.
It's basically arguing over which diamond is shinier at this point.
Yeah. And then you've got the trash polished stones that are Shrek's 3 and 4.
Glass. Just little cubes of glass.
Little just cubes of glass.
And they're dirty glass.
Dirty glasses.
One is dirty. One is just a hump of dirt, though. Like Shrek Forever After is just the biggest disappointment in Shrek history and in movie history. Well, it's not movie history because the Last Airbender movie exists. You want to talk about big ass disappointments? Oh man, The Last Airbender.
You know what another good character is in the Shrek series?
I can't hear you.
You know what a good Shrek character is in the franchise?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Mongo.
Who's that?
The big gingerbread man.
Oh, yeah.
True. Also, Gumdrop Button.
Not the Gumdrop button.
That was a callback to the first movie.
Yeah, when he
Oh,
takes off his
yeah.
gumdrop buttons.
That was a
And he's being
callback.
interrogated.
Mm-hmm.
All
Do
right.
you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man! The one who lives on Drury Lane.
Man, I don't know what stories we should talk about.
Talk about ogre stories.
Ogre
stories
stories.
with ogres.
Ogre stories. Jacob, what's your ogre story? Cool.
Gable.
Far Far Away Idol is really fun, but it sucks that only
Oh, I know!
it sucks that only Puss in Boots, Shrek and Fiona, Donkey, and I forgot the one other character who can win. But there's only 3 characters that can win, and also
Yeah.
Simon Cowell, because Simon Cowell was like,
Yeah.
"This is garbage. It's me," and then he sings "My Way," which is phenomenal.
I do
But
like that.
Oh, yeah.
it's a good rendition. But
Yeah, Prince Charming should have won.
"I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt" was just
Yeah.
Doris. Oh.
I have the soundtrack.
Yeah, I do too. I have the physical copy of the soundtrack.
It's fucking amazing.
Man.
Oh, and also, remember when we were listening to another song in the Shrek 2 soundtrack is the David Bowie song. Yeah,
Changes!
David Bowie is actually in that song. He's in a
Yeah.
lot of
He is
half.
in that song.
Oh,
I
yeah.
listened to it and I was like, oh shit, David Bowie is in the song.
Yeah, it's such a...
Yeah.
Man, shout out to
But
David
it's still
Bowie.
not as good as the original.
It's not as good as the original, no, but I think that Holding Up for a Hero compensates for that by being better than the original.
That's true. It is better than the original.
What a good
I know
song.
that Bailey that comes here.
Oh, yeah.
Bailey,
Yeah.
she really likes that song, and she really likes Jennifer Sanders, and I'm like, very nice.
You guys just want to end the podcast and listen to the Shrek 2 soundtrack and the Shrek 1 soundtrack?
Sure.
Fuck
Wait,
it.
isn't it copyrighted?
Not on air, dingus.
Oh,
hey,
shoot.
everybody, this is a PSA. Go listen to the Shrek soundtracks, both of them.
Please do.
The only 2 canon movies.
The only
And then the canon short while you're at it.
does it have a soundtrack?
I don't think it has a soundtrack, but it has an orchestrated. It's like an orchestrated soundtrack, but not like any bangers.
All right.
But yeah, listen to the soundtrack. The only 2 canon movies in the Shrek franchise. They're pretty freaking good.
Thank you for listening to Intellectual Smackdown. In today's episode, we're going to be debating Shrek 1 versus Shrek 2. Follow us on SoundCloud.
We already debated it. Why did you say today's episode we're gonna be debating when we already did?
I'm tired.
How tired are you?
How many fingers?
3.
Like 3
All right.
Good episode, boys.
All right, goodbye.